Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is MIKEKINGBIZ, the voice of RVA business media. At MIKEKINGBIZ, we celebrate the idea that business makes society better. On behalf of the whole MIKEKINGBIZ ecosystem, we say a big thank you.
Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome back to Conversations That Matter with Lynn Lewis. I am your host, Lynn Lewis, and as by way of introduction, I am also a certified grief educator as well as a grief coach for those who have experienced loss by suicide. And I am the Chief Empathy Officer for Destined to Thrive Grief Coaching. Here at Conversations That Matter, we talk about all things that matter to me, matter to our community. And today, we are going to be talking about how loss and grief affects the mental health of a person after the loss of a job, and not just the job, but a career. I have my young friend, Mr. Antoine Mercer, here with me today. And Antoine, just introduce yourself briefly to our audience.
Absolutely. Greetings, everyone. My name is Antoine Mercer. I am the founder of ADM Speaks Life. I am a certified life coach, motivational speaker, and a preacher if you need me to be. So I'm happy to be here this morning with you.
Thank you so much for being here. As I remind you all each and every week that loss and grief is not exclusive to death. Loss is when you no longer have access to something that you cared about, something that you love, something or somebody that was dear to you. And then grief in its simplest form is nothing more than how we respond emotionally to a loss or how we react to a loss. And so, as I mentioned, we're going to talk, we'll probably talk about several things, but we're really going to zero in on how loss and grief affects a person's mental health after the loss of a career or job. And Antoine, I remember back in 2008, my husband, who was probably around your age, well, he was a little bit older. He was in his early 50s. He was the director of pastoral care at a local hospital here in the Richmond, Virginia area. He was actually off on a medical leave because he had had foot surgery. And while he was out, he had gotten the word that his manager had been laid off. And the day that he went back to work, he called me at work and said, guess what? I said, you got laid off. And which wasn't totally unexpected because they were cutting from the top down and he was in the management position as the director. But one of the things that I remember about that time frame is how I saw him. Like, I was working full time. Our son was young, so of course he was in middle school. But I would come home and it just looked like my husband was just kind of melting down into the recliner, and how weekly he had to look for jobs and turn so that he could get that unemployment check. Of course, he did get some severance, but as you know, that doesn't last forever. You know that has an end date for sure. And I just remember that. And some days I would just say, okay, we're going out. We're going somewhere. We're going for a ride. We're going out to eat or something just to get him out of the house. And that went on for a while. Honestly, it's been so long ago, I don't specifically remember now how long it was before he got the next job. But it wasn't like a year or anything, but it was some months. And I just saw how it affected his mental health. And my husband is not one to readily talk about, but just having been with him for so many years, I could tell, I could see how it was affecting. And another part of that, his experience that day is the administration wanted security to escort him out of the hospital. And fortunately, he was friends with the guy, head of security, and he said, I will not do that. I am not going to escort the director of pastoral care down the hall with his box, you know. He said, no, let him come back at the end of the regular work day. And that's what he did. And I'm grateful that, you know, the gentleman did that. But as I said, I just saw how it worked on his mental health. I saw how it affected our household. And so you've already mentioned to me before that you got laid off almost a year ago.
Yes.
So talk to us about, was it unexpected? Did you get noticed? Or was it kind of like my husband, you go in one day and they say, bye?
So it was actually very similar to your husband's story. I had seen my boss get laid off, and a month had went by. I had noticed I was no longer being in meetings that I normally would be in, and then one day I went in and saw, because we were working remotely.
Oh, okay.
I went in and saw a notification that I had a meeting early that morning, and then I went into the meeting and they told me it was time for me to go. And so it was, well, it wasn't necessarily a surprise, it was still very shocking in that moment. And so you get filled with a whole bunch of mixed emotions. You know, on one hand, there was a moment where I was happy. But in the other hand, there was a moment where reality set in.
Yes.
What are you going to do next?
Yes, yes. And that's exactly how, that's why I like to talk about in these conversations that matter, how loss is that loss of that job, even though you kind of saw the handwriting on the wall, but then it still was like a death. Like, okay, I know someone is sick. I know they, you know, not doing well. But when you get that call, when you get that notification, it's like, wow. And so that's how I relate that, you know, losing a job, there's grief. There are those emotions that come up behind it. So once that happened, how long before you noticed it was kind of taking a toll or affecting your mental well-being?
Honestly, I would say probably after a month, because like your husband, I did get a severance package. So in hindsight, in my mind, I was like, I got this severance package. I'm okay for right now. I can survive a couple of months with the money that I have. So I'm not really feeling anxious. I'm not really feeling like a sense of loss within myself. But after you start seeing the money dwindling down because the bills are piling high and the money is decreasing and you don't have anything else coming in, then you start feeling that sense of loss. You start feeling that anxiety. You start feeling that, what is my purpose? What am I going to do next? And one of the biggest lies that we tell ourselves about our employment is that it defines who we are. And so when you lose a job or a career, you feel like you've lost a sense of yourself.
Most definitely, most definitely. And I think a lot of times that's really true for men. And well, maybe I shouldn't just say men. It just depends on the person. Because I remember when our office closed, and we had time, we had a year's notice. But even at that, one of my good friends, she was depressed for like 6 months. I'm like, girl. I said, is this where I sign? Okay, FedEx, take it away, you know. But she was really, because the job kind of defined her. It didn't define me. It was a means for me to do what else I wanted to do in life. It was a great part of that, but so I was okay. And fortunately for me, I've never been through what you are going through now, what my husband went through, what so many other people are going through now with, you know, loss of career. and just the effect that it can have on your mental health, or your mental health. So what would you say to, now that you've been in this like 8-9 months, what would you say to the person that's will be laid off today or tomorrow? What kind of to prepare themselves mentally?
So the best advice that I could give somebody would be, one, don't let your job or what you do define who you are. Just because you lost your job doesn't mean you've lost your purpose in life, right? That's number one. Number two, I'm a big faith believer, so I would definitely hold fast to the profession of your faith.
Right.
And just know that all things work together for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And then number three, I would say the most important thing is a sense of community. One of the biggest things that has helped me and my mental health is my friends who have supported me, who have poured into me, who have told me, we got you, it's going to be okay. If you need something, let us know. They send me job leads when they see them. You know, they're always telling me, this does not define who you are. You're going to find the next job and it's going to be better than what you had. So definitely a sense of community is very important.
I definitely agree about community. And so I thank you for your being vulnerable, because I know, just as a grief educator and a grief coach and being a griever myself, how sometimes we wonder, do I tell it? Do I talk about it? Do people want to know? Are they just being passive and saying, let me know if you need anything, call me, or are they really wanting to hear? So how would you suggest that a person gets past that to say, you know what, I'm going to be vulnerable and say what I need? Or have you gotten there yet?
I'm still getting there. I'm still learning the lesson. And honestly, this was if you had asked me to do this months ago, I probably would not have, because I was very much, I'm not telling anybody I'm laid off. One of the biggest things that makes me cringe is when you meet people and they say, oh, what do you do for a living? I find myself oftentimes not telling them that I'm laid off, but telling them what I previously did, as if I'm still doing it, right? And then on my birthday, I just kind of had an epiphany. And it was just like, there's no need for me to be ashamed of losing a job. And telling my story can help somebody else that may be going through this similar situation. Because what I also realized is my boss, who got laid off before me, it took him a year before he found another job. And so that made me realize I'm not the only person going through this.
It's just that when you in the thick of,
it's hard
of a loss, it can be difficult to see beyond that point. And just like you, I'm grateful that you are telling your story. And if you're just catching us in the middle of this talk, I'm Lynn Lewis, certified grief educator, and today I'm talking to Mr. Antoine Mercer about how job loss, career loss can affect your mental health. So again, I thank you for being here. But community, I believe, is huge, and but it can be risky telling our story. It can be risky being vulnerable. But what I've found with telling my story is it's worth it to be vulnerable. It's worth it for me to take the risk because I have a voice, I have a platform, I have people that support me. And so it's worth it for me to be vulnerable. And what I found with vulnerability is it's liberating.
It's very liberating.
It's almost like you feeling pressed down, and then it's like, okay, I said it. Nobody can tell our story like we can tell our story. So I've said it. I put it out there. Yes, I'm unemployed. Yes, my son died by suicide. Yes, I don't make the money I used to. Yes, I'm a greeter at Walmart now instead of the manager. Yes. So nobody else can tell our story.
Absolutely.
And that's liberating. And one of the things that one of my colleagues and I often say, regardless of how hard it is to tell the story, if we just reach one person, if we just make a difference for one person, then that was worth it. That was worth me taking the risk to share my story, to share my testimony. So, Antoine, you also mentioned that you are the CEO of
ADM Speaks Life.
So, talk about that.
So,
what's the ADM? Is it an acronym?
Yes, ADM is an acronym for my name, which is Antoine DiCarlo Mercer.
Okay.
And Speaks Life is just what it is. I realized early on in my life that I had a passion and a purpose for being able to motivate and encourage and uplift people through the art of speaking. And so that is what ADM Speaks Life is. It's me being a motivational speaker. It's me being a life coach. It's me being vulnerable and telling my story to help somebody else that is in the same position or may end up in this position. And so that is truly the mission behind ADM Speaks Life. It's kind of like my little baby that I've been working on and nurturing. And I'm just really looking forward to the moment where it reaches massive audiences and people can really, like you said, feel liberated, feel free, feel, and understand I'm not going through this alone.
And one at a time, you can reach the masses, because just you being here today we may never know how many people that message reaches. So if someone wants to work with you, tell the audience how they can reach you, how they can work with you.
Absolutely. So you can reach me on all social medias, on Facebook, Antoine Mercer, on Instagram, Mr. Mercer to you, and ADM Speaks Life. You can also find me on TikTok, and I'm also on LinkedIn as Antoine Mercer.
Very good. Very good. And of course, if you would like to reach me, I am on LinkedIn and Facebook as Lynn Lewis, and I am on Instagram as Grief Coach Lynn. And I would love to hear from you. Even if you would like to be a guest on my show, reach out to me. I will be glad to get you in the lineup. And again, to Mr. Mercer, I so appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, telling your story. And looking forward to spending more time with you, either here in the studio or otherwise. We got to connect and do some collaborations. So again, this is Lynn Lewis, certified grief coach, bidding you well until another time.
You are here, helping us give everyone the chance to live a longer, healthier life, free from breast cancer. You are survivors, you are thrivers and supporters. You are the heartbeat of the #1 breast cancer movement in the country. You are making strides against breast cancer.
Making Strides Walk of Central Virginia at Monroe Park on October 17th at 9 a.m.
This is Petersburg today. This is Petersburg getting together as a family and making sure our residents are taken care of.
Today, citywide, we're providing groceries for our community. The reason behind the food distribution is all of these cuts in food stamps, so we have to make sure that our community is fed and fed well. The need is so broad, but the city of Petersburg has come together to provide and serve. It's all about service here.
Community service never ever stops.
People gave to me.
All right.
It was once where I had nothing, and people poured to me. So I like to give back to others.
It makes other people feel good. It makes us feel good. You know, everybody needs some help at some period of time.
This will occur once a month for the next 6 months, every first Monday of the month. And then in mid-month, we will serve our own senior communities, which are 5 individual facilities.
Everybody need a hand up, not a hand down, but a hand up. And we're here to lend a hand up.
It's what we stand for, but most of all, this is my ministry. God bless.
It started with family. I mean, we all lived in the same neighborhood. We made sure that our neighbors were fed. We made sure our neighbors were taken care of. And when I moved to Petersburg 23 years ago, it's like moving from family and back into a family environment. The arms opened really, really wide for me, and I can't say anything other than thank you, Petersburg, for all you do, and that's why I do what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Owner Mike King here, coming to you from the MIKEKINGBIZ Call Federal Credit Union Media Center, powered by Icon Realty Group. We coming to you from high above Henrico. What we do is we talk to the best and the brightest people out there who are making a difference in the community. The gentleman next to me, Kevin May. I met him here, and so for people to know, and I got a whole bunch of the Philadelphia things here. And they're like, where are you from? I'm from Philadelphia. And he said, oh, I got ties. And then I said, I'm from North Wales. So for folks who don't know, and I always say, Philly? Yeah, but I'm not from Philly. Have you ever heard of Lansdale? And they say, yeah, well, I'm not from Lansdale. I'm from the little town right before it, the one-stop town, the one-stoplight town, North Wales, Pennsylvania. And there used to be a church that we would go to on Friday nights, Calvary Baptist, and that was the best time. The gentleman right next to me has history there, so we have that. He's also an entrepreneur, a man who's seen and done a lot, and we wanted to have him on the program. So welcome to the program, sir.
Hey, good to be here, Mike. I'm glad that you invited me, and excited for the day.
All right, so tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah, my name is Kevin May. I am the founder, owner of Business Actuators. It is a coaching business where we really help businesses between that $1 and $10 million range scale. We find that there are individuals that have grown businesses, but they're hit a plateau. We just help them take their business to the next level.
And so sometimes you had said the business owner may be the problem in the situation.
Yeah.
If they're $2.5 million, how do they get to 5? They're working 8 days a week, 29 hours a day, and they're there, but the price that they're paying for it can be overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Because their hands are on every piece of it. And that's where they bring you in. What is an engagement with you? Because you had said you work with people over a long period.
Yes.
You're not, this isn't a strike force coming in.
No, it's a 1-year commitment is really what I'm looking for. We meet once a week for an hour. That's it. But I always say, you get that hour commitment, but you also get my cell number. So there are times where individuals, we go through the lessons. It's a system that I've invented. I've trademarked it, and it works. But they also have my cell number. There's times when these individuals will call me late at night and say, "Oh, my best guy just quit," or my whatever, and I walk them off the edge and really help them through there. So it's a process, but there's an emotional connection.
So you had told me, so you're in the trades. That's where
a lot of my people.
A lot of people are in the trades, and so we're in a technology world now. And AI is the rave with everything.
Yes.
I hear people saying that we're going back to the trades. We're going back to people knowing how to do things. So touch on that right there, because a lot of people you're talking about, they didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I want to be a plumber. I want to be a contractor. They are different people than me. So back in, and I hate to be like the old man, but back in the day, there was a couple different tracks. There was the Votech track, and then college bound.
Yes.
We kind of looked down on the folks who went to Votech.
Yeah, many times.
Now, when the plumber shows up, it's not, it's scary.
It's a serious business.
Because you never know. You kind of figured something good is not going to happen. So now we're looking at technology is there, but it's still that service thing. So they grew up maybe working for someone. You know, they had the one man, it was them doing, and they had their name on the truck. Then they get 5 people. Now they have maybe 20 people. But now, and they have, you know, things in place, but they can't get to that next level.
Right. Yeah. No, that's exactly it, Mike. And what happens is that the skill itself is still, I'm going to call it simple. It's difficult in the fact that there's a lot that they have to know. There's a lot of codes and things that are a part of, you know, putting a plumbing system together. And it's not just slapped together and glued together. They really have to know how it drains, how it vents. There's a lot there that goes within that trade and skill. But where I can also come in, we talk about AI. AI can help them estimate projects. We can actually now take a picture of a house, bring that thing in, and show the customer what windows look like. There's just so many technical advances that really bring the behind the scenes to life. It simplifies, but yet it also allows them to get more in depth. There's more training. You're not just showing up and saying, hey, I can fix your house. We show up now with these 3D models that, you know, that this is exactly what your bathroom is going to look like. And, oh, you don't like the blue? Let's change it real quickly to, you know, to purple, whatever, you know. And we can do that pretty much right on the spot. So there are so many advances there. And then even that, the understanding of finances and things. You don't always have to be an expert. So some of what I do is, yes, I help them, but also part of networking. We both network a lot. I can now, there are things out there where you actually call it like fractional work. We used to have to hire everybody for 40 hours. Now with the fractional model, I can hire a bookkeeper for just a few hours. I can hire an admin for a few hours. So there's different ways to build a business. And if you don't know that, you think that this is the way we have to do it, I can come in and show you simpler, better ways to actually model your business so that you're more productive. You can get out of the way, let other people lead and develop your business, and you can be more successful.
So how do you, all right, Kevin May's here with us. How can people find you out there, sir?
Okay, it really on the internet, it's Business Actuators. A lot of people say, well, what is that? If you've ever walked into a grocery store and that door opened automatically, that was a use of an actuator.
Really?
And it is where you take a simple signal and you cause a bigger thing to happen. And so what that means is that you walked up to that door, and whether it be a light, a sensor, something triggered, and it caused a big motor to actually open that door. So that's kind of a little bit of a play on words. That's an actuator. So I'm a business actuator. I want to be that simple mechanism that comes in to cause a greater change within that. So businessactuatorsllc.com is our website.
One of the things that we talk about, and we've both been around, there are some benefits to sort of being around, and it is seeing different business environments. Mm-hmm. When you look at it right here, and so for you, you're not just, you're Richmond based,
no,
but you're doing business all over.
Anywhere in the U.S., and I probably could go beyond that, but right now, anywhere in the U.S., I do focus on the East Coast, but really anywhere in the U.S., a lot of what I do is virtual. Not a lot of good came out of COVID, but being virtual is one of the things that we did develop. And so being able to recognize that aspect, I use virtual meetings a lot.
When you started the business, how long did it take before you thought of it to all of a sudden you started it? And then when did you realize you had something?
Yeah, that is one of those things where, you know, Mike, I go back to my construction days, and I really shut that down in 2012. But at that point in time, I had about 700 subcontractors. I knew there was something, I'm going to say, wrong with the model of a lot of those subcontractors. once again, very good at their skill. They were good plumbers, bricklayers, whatever they may be, but their business model was just horrible. That right there carried until 2019 when I said, I'm going to do something about that. And so it took me a few years. It's probably really been the last 4 years that I've said, I really got something. I am changing businesses. I change lives. And that's really, it took a little while to kind of get the mindset, but now I've got a model. I've got a trademarked program that I use for that year, and it's impacting businesses.
So, one of my King Kevin May here, you talk to a lot of people, and eventually people want to scale. They're going to have a problem. You start to see that same. What's the problem that they see? Now, you may hear it in the first meeting, you may hear it in the 10th meeting, but this thing is going to come up because it's prevalent among business owners. What's that thing?
The thing that they really have to do is understand that they are limited in what they can do as a business owner. They can, they start out, they're the person. And then they even grow it. And that's where the growth model comes in, where they're almost making every decision, or every decision is coming through them. And even if they say they're delegating, but it's still, I want you to do this. And they really need to get to the point where it's like, I didn't even know that happened. And that's when they begin to scale. When they've trusted their team to begin to make decisions that they don't even know it happened, but they trust that person. And so that's the difference between being that solo to being a growing business where you're involved in everything. When you begin to scale, you really have to get out of the way and let your team, let the people that you've hired, sometimes they're even better than you. You hire people that aren't the same or less, where you can show them. You hire people that are better than you in various aspects of your business. That's when you'll begin to scale.
So my parents always owned their own business, and they did very well. And it was like, I always joked and say hustle. My dad, he was a hustler and all those things. And it was only until I got here and I met Art Espy and Brian Anderson. They were on the show and they were talking about scaling. Even though my parents did well and it seemed like we had money, we never really went anywhere because they were
tied to the business.
They were tied to my mom would leave from church and she'd go, and it's all businesses across the board, whether it's dry cleaners, daycare centers, all those, and bars and nightclubs became something that became really big for them. My mom leaves right from church and going to the nightclub to clean up. And so I start thinking, and they're like, you can only hustle to a certain point.
Exactly.
After that. But you can't tell hustlers that. You can't tell a guy or a woman who's always had their hand on everything to pull back. It's uncomfortable.
It is it's a hard conversation, but those are the conversations that I have with those owners. I want them to understand. One of my greatest success stories happened just 3 years ago. The lady contacted me. We had this good conversation. She was ready to quit. Been in business 9 years, ready to just throw in the towel. We worked together for a couple of years. I don't actually work with her now, but last year she went on a 4-week vacation, left the business, left people in charge, didn't take her computer with her, and her business thrived while she was away for 4 weeks. To me, that's success. She tripled her revenue, but yet she is allowing the business to run. So when you have those hard conversations with those owners, it's tough because it's their baby.
It is.
And it's like me walking up to you, Mike, and saying, hey, give me your car keys. And you're like,
okay, let's not get carried away.
I'm not going to do that. And it's like, I'm just taking a trip to California. Give me your keys.
That's it. And you're like, no, that ain't happening, sir. Thank you very much.
So you have to build that confidence. You have to build that trust. And then I began to work with those owners, have those hard conversations, show that we start from the very beginning. I mean, I call it a mission, vision, value statement. Where do you want to go? What is your mission? How we start with the foundation and we work all the way through. And through that 52 weeks, that trust is developed. They see where they need to be, where they need to sit. building teams that really are there for them. And that's when you really see that business scale.
One of the sponsors of the program is Icon Realty Group, and I was talking to Robert Jones, shout out to Robert and Katina Jones, about that part of the business. And they said they went to Florida, to scope out. They were doing some business. They liked Florida, and they went and they bought a condo. And they said right when they get there, COVID happened. They said we were stuck there for months. And I said, what came out of that? They said we realized that the business could still run if we were not there. So that was the lesson that was learned. So when the person says, when the person would be able to go on vacation and not have a nervous breakdown because I don't have my phone getting every notification of every sale, of every phone call, it makes it tough. So that's where you're coaching people through. What's it like when the light bulb comes on and they get it? Because that idea, give me my car to go to California, let's not get carried away, man. But all of a sudden, I'm willingly, Kevin, we're going, hey, you know what? Have a good time. Let me know. I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things where I sprung that on you. Normally it would be, you know what, I need to go get coffee. Can I get coffee for you?
Yeah,
I walked here. Can I use your car? And you might even hesitate to even say, I'm not sure if I want you to go to Wawa,
Exactly.
But we have to get to that point where you understand that I'm really helping you out. I'm not just in it for me. I am really helping you out. And so we walk through all those conversations. And once sometimes it might even be, let me go start it. I'm going to go start your car and we'll get the snow off of it this winter. And when you come out, you're going to have a warm car. It might even start with that. So it's very basic, a lot of conversations, but it does develop into a lot of trust. And then next thing you know, I've got into your car and I'm heading to California.
And I'm not overly concerned because I know and trust you because the relationship that we built. So a while back, a group came in and it was folks from EO Richmond, and we had a good conversation, and we're talking about business owners. And he said the person who gets you to 2 million may not be the person who can get you to 10 million. Okay, so what happens? Get to get everybody has a person. Now you got to change people. That one wasn't easy for me because, so what do we do with me who got you to 2 million? What happens? Do you just discard me? Like, hey, Mike, thanks for coming, see you later?
No.
So have that conversation to help the business owner. Says, the person helped you get here. Maybe you might have to make a personnel move, or something may need to change to get you to the next level.
Sure. Yeah, those are, to me, it's trust and qualifications. It's one of those things where sometimes individuals have really never experienced that, and they're trying to, they maybe have the training and things, they've taken a course, but they've really never ran a business. And so what I try to do is find that individual that has, yes, credentials, but they've actually done it and they can take you to that next level. So what we're looking for is, how big do you want your business to go? And that's a vision. And a lot of times I'm projecting 10, 15 years out, and we don't always know what's happening, but that gives you a little bit of a sense of where they're going. Once you understand where they would like to go, that then allows you to match up yourself with an individual that one has the experience, has that vision capability, and can really take you to that level. So an individual that has maybe gone to 2 million, they've worked with people that maybe have ran a $2 million business. If you're going up to 10, 60 million, that's a different ballgame. That's a different scope. You're working with people where there's capital investment. There are things where, you have to worry about teams. It's not just 5 to 10 people. You're maybe talking about 50 to 100 people. So you have to worry about HR. You have to worry about a different there's different set of rules, regulations that you have to know about.
And part of that one is working. So you see the electrician, the tradesperson, they started, but they grew up in the business. And sometimes they know what they know. Everybody who's a great baker doesn't need to own a bakery. So a lot of times we put it on a person who has in the trades. But I've talked to professional, whether it's a lawyer, a dental, a dentist, a doctor, all of a sudden they're like, they taught us, like, when did you learn the business side of it? What day was that class? We didn't have that class.
Exactly.
So now they're in there doing their thing, but they don't know how to run the business aspect of it. So that's where a person like you comes in. So it just doesn't matter that whatever type of industry it may be, people need to have a person to help them, because we're working in the business. We're putting out fires here and there. Opportunities are going by.
Yeah.
And we missed them because, and some of the fires are self-inflicted.
They are.
We can do that as entrepreneurs.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's just what you don't know.
Yes.
And sometimes because you're so much invested in the business, you forget to look at the forest versus the trees. It's that, have you ever said, hey, calling out to your friend or somebody, have you seen my blue shirt? And where's it at? It's actually right there in front of you. You're just not looking at it. And they walk over, reach up, over your shoulder and say, oh, you mean this shirt? Yes, that shirt. So what happens for me a lot of times is, yes, I'm training, I'm teaching them. There are things they don't know. But a lot of times it's the fact that because I'm coming in it from a non-emotional perspective, looking at their business, I can see things that they're looking right at and just missing.
Because you are not emotionally involved. Do you know, like every restaurateur swears he's an Italian restaurant and says, if I took you, nobody runs my business. There's no one, you're up on it, so you see it that way. If I dropped a Greek chef in your restaurant, they'd figure out how to make this thing work.
Absolutely.
But you have to have some tough conversations with people.
I do. Yeah. So it's a matter of really letting, once I understand where the business owner wants to go, I will even question that at times. I had business owners that say, I think we ought to go this direction. And it's like, well, what makes you unique then? Why are you not, that's like every other plumber. What makes you unique in the plumbing business? Once they figure that out, they figure out where they're going to go, then that's where I come in and I say, okay, now that I know where you're going, where you want to go, let's put a path together, make that clear. And we get on that journey and head that way.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin May, one last time, sir. How can people reach you?
It's businessactuatorsllc.com. Takes you to our website. There's forms and information on there to be able to get in contact with me. I always say it starts with a coffee. So whether it be virtual or not, we just have a simple conversation, getting to know each other, and see if we can work together.
Shout out to our days. Shout out to our days back at Calvary Baptist Church, Lansdale, Pennsylvania. That was a time. You talk about like yearning for the good old days. Explain what that was really quickly to our viewers.
Calvary Baptist, I was getting my master's and I was a part of an internship. And Mike and I were kind of talking earlier. It's kind of funny. We used to call them like preacher boys and things like that. But it was a Friday night program where we would pull people from the area in several hundred youth, teens, and we would have, once again, not politically correct today, we called it the war,
Yes.
But it was a competitive, fun activity. We'd bring them in, a little bit of preaching, but then
you guys gave us a little bit of the word, for sure. But you kept it kind of short. The fun, we had some fun. The food was good.
Yeah.
And it was right in front of the high school that I went to, North Penn High School. And there would be kids coming. I said to them, when you're younger, you don't realize how big. I just know it's big. It would seem like a couple, 200-300 kids would be there on a Friday night. That was the place to be.
Mm-hmm. It was an exciting time. It was a fun time, and we were. I'm glad we impacted your life. I mean, that's to me that once again is the exciting thing that that yes, a lot of work putting that thing together. We seemed like a lot of fun, but now years later to say, you know what, it was fun.
Right, because you never know the impact that it had. So you're there as one of the guys who would be shepherding us around. Come on, you guys, get in. Get in here. We got we would have a church service. It'd be on like the basketball court.
Yep.
And it was, so we're in there. We're 14, 15, 16 years old. You don't realize that years later, maybe 40 years later, we're like close to 50 years. Like I was in there, and you said North Lansdale. I'm like, I went to North Penn High School. And then when you said I was there, it took me right back to Calvary Baptist and the fun that we had there.
Yep. No, that was fun. It was a different day, a different time, but it was definitely a way to impact young people, gave them something to do, productive on a Friday night, had a lot of fun, and I'm glad to hear that it did impact at least one individual's life.
And so it impacted our friends. So for our friends, we're going to cut this clip out for our good friends over at Calvary Baptist, going back to North Penn High School class of 78. Thank you for what you guys did at that time. On the mic with Mike, Kevin May. Yes, to go.
Should we do it?
It's your call.
Call Federal Credit Union, your best call for car loans.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike King here, coming to you from the MIKEKINGBIZ Call Federal Credit Union Media Center, powered by Icon Commercial Realty. That's who we are. That's what we do. You can follow us on social platforms, which is On the Mic with Mike RVA, as well as MIKEKINGBIZ. Hey, we got Mia Wang in the house. How are you, ma'am?
Good. How are you doing, Mike?
Super. I'm like, no, scoot back this way a little bit. We want to keep you in camera frame. Alrighty, so tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Mia Wang. I live in Williamsburg, Virginia for a long time, and I rebranded my business. It's a new venture now. I do AI training, AI solutions, and digital transformation for communities, small business owners, and nonprofits.
Have you always been an entrepreneur person?
I've been like that for a long time. Since 2018.
So when how do you know, I always ask people who are entrepreneurs, how do you know when you're winding one down and spinning another one up? And do you keep them going at the same time?
I've learned in the past I should stay focused. So I want to grow and scale. So I am slowing down on my previous arts business, and now I'm doing the technology I'm building.
How long did it take you when you thought of the technology side before you finally went and said, I'm doing this? A long time?
Yeah, I was a software developer, Scrum Master, Agile coach, and technical project manager. I've been dealing with technology for a long time, for 2 decades. I published my first research paper in 2010 with IEEE on AI and speech recognition applied in games. And I've been doing technology for a long time. I think technology will help us dramatically in the future.
So always talk to people who are in technology, a lot of times women, and they're like, technology can be the great equalizer. It can touch on that. So back in 2010, were there a lot of women, females in rooms that you were in, or was it a bunch of guys?
Oh, there are lots of guys.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, it's much better now, especially with AI Ready RVA in women's AI cohort. I see lots of women there.
So I guess Did that happen like sort of at once, or was it gradual that it was you, then maybe another woman there and another, or is this really taking off pretty fast, the whole women in technology part?
Yes, it's growing very fast. There are more women joining the technology.
So tell me, so a person has a small business. What's the name of your business?
Lotus Love Digital Solutions.
Okay, so you talk to a lot of people from a technology standpoint. People get a lot of things wrong.
Exactly.
They do. What's the number one thing that you see that people get wrong a lot?
Yeah, they use AI as a search engine and then put a simple prompt there, just take the first result. Without much guidance, without much context, they just use it.
So we're using it as a glorified Google.
Right.
Just answering the question.
Right.
As opposed to giving it guidance.
Exactly.
It can do a lot more.
Exactly.
So give us some ideas, some guidance or prompts that can really help a business owner.
Yeah, starting with prompt, I developed my prompting framework that you provide much better guidance. You treat AI as co-pilot. You are the pilot. It will, with guidance, it will give you much better results. Because if you just put simple prompt, like write an email, then it doesn't know where to go. It could create something random. But if you put role, context, goal, it has much better direction. And then if you add more details, you'll get much better result. So in my AI prompting class for beginners, I showed the basics so that they can practice and better control AI, and to reduce the chance for AI to hallucinate and produce a false result to you. And you can always enhance security and add fact checking to secure your data and response. And that's only one small step. There are many more. You can use AI with automations, reduce repetitive work, and creating all kinds of marketing plan, for example, make things much better and just moving things to the next level.
So it can really help you with repetitive work, things you're doing every day. It can help you. How does a person ask for that? Like, what can I put into the system so that it knows to help me?
Yeah, that's a great question. I set up some automation pipeline. For example, your emails, you get lots of emails each day. And then I can set up a pipeline with Zapier. It's automatically grouping, updating your emails with context, save the attachments to your Google Drive, and then come up with a draft reply. You simply go there and review the draft reply, and then you can hit send once you make the proper edit and you are confident about the reply. It just saves time checking. It makes a quick summary of the email and then create a draft and then send it. So you will send it once you approve it. So
that is you helping me set that up.
Yes.
That's like email management. Like that's
exactly.
Just one
automation. Right. And then there are other things. You can, as a small business owners, they are always like under-resourced and do a lot, right? Everyone struggle with that. So you can simply create some configurations in your ChatGPT, for example, then you set up like a team of AI. So you have one AI doing one role, your financial officer, and then the other AI doing your marketing stuff. So with that configuration set up, you have a virtual team. You just increase your capacity. Now you are like 4 or 5 people doing each one of them doing one thing and be a specialist of that.
So it's just like I have people.
Yeah. You still control it.
I'm controlling it.
Right, but it gives you much better focus on each of the scenario and then help you learn about your data and then help you provide your guidance and decisions. You make the decision. And then
I think that people are kind of scared of AI.
Yes.
That they are. But I'm like, when we're writing an email and it sort of auto-populates it kind of thinks of what I want. We've been doing that for a long time, and I don't think that scared us.
Right.
I think we sort of knew and understood it. It's only when we're like, we start hearing Chat GPT, and now all of a sudden, the smart people like you were doing that before. Now they're just open up to everybody, and every like I even see the graphics people upset because every Chat GPT or Claude poster looks alike, and they're like screaming at people, would you guys stop? And now the problem, what it is I can put that in and have something in 2 minutes. And I can keep going back and asking it until I will get exactly what I want. I can't do that with a person without them, maybe their feelings getting hurt. Like, can you make this one little change? I thought I liked blue, but I kind of wanted green.
Yeah, definitely.
And all those things, ChatGPT doesn't give me the side eye because I asked it 10 times to make a change.
Oh, yeah.
But people are kind of scared about it's going to take over the world.
Oh, yeah.
How are kids going to learn if Chat? So I've met the Meta Ray-Bans. My grandkids, when he's 13, he's 14. There's no way I'm getting. He would cheat with them. He would ask, hey, Meta, and just ask the question instead of defending what I know. Maybe ChatGPT or AI helped me, but I know what's going on. I have to be able to check it. I don't know that they would check it. They would just take that as the answer.
Oh, so it's important to educate the younger generation.
Yes. So now you're saying also that we can put in prompts, because everyone always says, can't trust AI. It will give you, if you don't guide it in the right way, it will give you some answers that are...
Right, so we have to start to guide them. And the great thing about using AI is that it learns over the time. It will learn. You have to guide it and it learns. So the next time it does it, it knows it will follow your direction.
Okay, what does an engagement with Mia look like? So I call you up, we connect. What happens? Like how do you work? Do you start off with you tell me?
Oh, I have lots of public speakings. I'm going to teach basic AI stuff at my local library, Petersburg Regional Library, September 19th at 2 o'clock. It's open to public. You can even bring your grandma. And I also have, for project management, I'm booked up with 6 conferences for the rest of the year to speak about how to improve the project flow and how you use AI to improve as a project manager. And I also have discovery calls, 15 minutes free, and you can book a call with me on my website, lotuslovellc.com. And lastly, I have the AI training courses I've been mentioning. It's recurring every month. It's on Eventbrite. And I also trying to help small business owners make their life easier. So I'm developing a tool to simplify their life, and lots of small business owners deal with lots of projects and reminders, and it's hard to manage all in one place. I'm trying to work on a new product called Lotus on Track. And once it's done, it should make small business owners' life much easier and without them paying for a real project manager.
Back in the day, and I don't like to be the old man, but back in the day, you used to deal with a lot of technical people, project manager stuff. Now you deal with regular people, and you have to tone the talking down to make it easier for us to get it.
Yes.
Before you were able to you guys are talking among each other, all you guys are smart and you're talking, but now you're talking to regular people.
Yes.
It's a little different, I would guess.
I'm a humorous person. I will also use easy to understand analogies to make people understand. And my courses are interactive. So it's easy for people to learn something new without the technical background.
And you're also a Toastmaster.
Yes.
Explain and tell people what a Toastmaster is.
Toastmaster builds better leaders and reduce fear for public speaking, moving forward with more confidence. So there are Toastmaster clubs. You can easily find one around your area, and then you join the meeting, and then you will learn about speaking with prepared speeches and also impromptu speaking without knowing anything ahead of time. Overall, they will give you guidance and feedback. Then you work on it. You will do better and better next time.
And you're like a leader in Toastmasters.
Yes, I'm the area director.
Okay. So, is your family like is somebody in your family like really outgoing and all that you really kind of took after them?
No.
They're not.
My family are not outgoing.
Okay. So when you come along and you're the outgoing one, like I wasn't that person. I would just. What was it like for them having the outgoing Mia? You think it's kind of hard?
How do they become the outgoing Mia?
Yeah, because they always, if they're quiet and more reserved and laid back, and here you are.
Yeah, join the Toastmasters. When I was a kid, I think I developed the skill by singing. I always wanted to sing and dance, but I'm always nervous. I always hide at the back. But through learning about singing, I built my first confidence. I take part in lots of competitions, so I don't have fear speaking in public. Oh. And then after joining Toastmasters, I got more confidence, and it's fun. I always make my speeches humorous, so people laugh. I don't feel like I'm speaking over there. I feel like I'm talking to people.
There you go, Mia Wang. The name of the company is?
Lotus Love Digital Solutions.
Okay, and how can people find you out there? Like, what's the email? Not email. What's your web address? I know you're everywhere.
Yeah, lotuslovellc.com.
Close your eyes, let whispers unfold, a story untold, magic astounds. Lost in wonder, let your mind soar, where dreams take flight.
Look at you or look at the camera?
I don't know. We're just going to be talking.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mike King, coming to you from the palatial offices of Icon Realty Group /ERA. We're here today talking to Jennifer Montague. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. So it's either I'm going to your city down in Colonial Heights.
Oh, okay.
Is that where?
Okay, Chester. We're in Chester.
Chester. I knew it's one of those down there.
Listen, we are in 98 communities throughout Central Virginia, so we're all over.
And she is
offices in Chester.
And she is on the road providing information leadership as the COO president of Columbia Gas of Virginia. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so tell us who you are and what you do.
So you already said my title, Mike.
Yes.
Jennifer Montague, and I, Columbia Gas of Virginia, we provide safe and reliable natural gas to, again, 98 communities throughout the state. And really today, I'm here to talk about 811, because today is today August the 11th or it's August 10th?
It's tomorrow.
10th. Tomorrow is going to be 811.
Because I have Bldg in my office.
There we go.
Bldg is in the studio. And we talked about what that means, like be careful, all the things.
Yes.
We don't see the hidden dangers of just digging willy-nilly.
That's right. So tomorrow is 811 day, and the reason we celebrate it on 811 is because we want people to call 811 before they dig. And you just talked about, the hazards of digging willy-nilly. We really want to make sure that people stay safe, that when they dig, if they're doing a special project in their house, they're planting a garden, they're putting in a new patio, whatever they're doing, you're supposed to call 811 at least 3 days before you start digging, so you don't end up hitting a gas line and causing a a leak and just creating an unsafe environment. So that's really what we want.
One of the things, so
people to do.
your team came in and they talked about natural gas, how dangerous it is. And we always say, natural gas smells like rotten eggs.
That's
and
right.
We're like, but it doesn't really. That's a safety precaution that was put in.
That's right. So actually, natural gas is a colorless, odorless gas. And we deliberately put mercaptan in it, which smells like natural eggs. So which smells like rotten eggs. So people then can realize, ooh, there's something wrong. But we do that because we want people, if they smell that, we want them to know, and we want them to do, we want them to contact us immediately. But this 811 is so people don't have to do that they don't have to hit a line and they don't have to smell the rotten egg smell, that they can contact us. And there's actually markings on the ground, Mike. I think the markings for there's markings for different utilities, but ours are yellow. So you should see markings on the ground for the utility. Sometimes the rain takes them away, but that's why it's always safe to call 811 before you dig. And it just takes a few minutes. And it's actually also the law. You're supposed to do that.
Oh, it's the law. It's not suggested.
It's not suggested.
It's not. We are not suggesting you do this.
That's
we're telling this is what you should do.
It's really for safety.
Yeah, because it is something for people when they hit a line, catastrophic things can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So Jennifer is here. How can people get information about Columbia Gas?
So if they want information about Columbia Gas, and especially if they're struggling to pay their bills, I know sometimes the month is longer than the money. So if people are struggling to pay their bills, they can reach out to Columbia Gas, columbiagasva.com, and they can look at our energy assistance programs. Now is a good time to be looking at our energy assistance programs, or they can just call our number to talk if they're having a hard time paying their bill. There are programs available, LIHEAP, there's programs to help out with energy efficiency if they want to make their home a little bit more less leaky and actually conserve energy. So we have all kinds of programs. So they should reach out to us really before they
We
get
know
in trouble.
that you guys provide the gas for us. There's so many other things that you guys do as a community champion sponsors and helping people. So you had an ambassador program?
We did. We just wrapped up our third. This is the third time we did it. Our youth ambassador program.
Okay.
And this one I'm very proud of, Mike. So these are students from Petersburg.
Okay.
This year, I believe we had 23. We've had varying numbers, as many as 30, but it's an 8-week-long paid internship.
Which is a beautiful thing.
Which is a beautiful thing. These are for high school juniors and seniors, and they spend 8 weeks with us. We partnered with the nonprofit organization 2Hype, which Pastor Lamont Hobbs helped organize that program. But we partnered with them. And they basically, for 8 weeks, they learned what it's like to have a career in energy. They heard from a variety of people. They talked to the engineers, they talked to the field workers, they talked to people in cybersecurity and marketing, regulatory, our energy assistance program, our energy efficiency programs. So they really learned a wide variety. They talked to legal, and that's one thing that I want young people to know, especially in the community, is that having a career in energy, one, it pays really well. But two, there are a wide variety of jobs that you can have. And that's one reason why we wanted these youth ambassadors to learn about this program. So they've done that. And again, it was third year, and I was really proud of them. At their graduation, Mike, we had not only did we have the Virginia Chief Energy Officer come and speak to them, and that's Chief Josephus Almond, who's in Spanberger's organization, so he got a chance to come and speak to them. We had someone from a delegate's office, and then we had, oh my goodness, she is Miss Virginia International, came and spoke to them. So it was nice to be able to, have that program come to.
There's so many opportunities that we don't even think about. Mm-hmm. Like most people would not think about careers in energy.
That's right.
And so, but one, you're sort of the poster child of what it can do. Because one, it's just people in the community. Another, it's women. I see the events that you go to, mm-hmm. And for a younger person who's never been in that world, those are opportunities that somebody else gets, or
right.
Maybe we don't even never hear about them. Explain why that's so important to you and Columbia Gas.
Well, you're talking about women, but I mean, the representation of women and the representation of people of color, yes, is important to us at Columbia Gas. And we actually do a really good job of that in terms of representation. But you are right, the awareness of the types of jobs that are available, the fact that there are jobs available, and energy, it's not really sexy. People don't think of it as like, exciting.
It is not.
But I will say, Mike, it is foundational to everything that we do. You want to, stay warm in the wintertime, you need energy. You want to be able to cook your food. If you've got natural gas, you do that. You want to be able to, heat your clothes, like dry, wash and dry your clothes. You got that. And then on the electric side, all the things, we wouldn't be able to have this video if it weren't for electricity.
True.
We wouldn't be able to, you want to flip on your lights. You want to be able to watch your video games. You want to be able to watch, whatever you're watching. I'm watching House of Dragons right now. But whatever you want to watch, and all of the artificial intelligence that's coming into place, that is all foundational, right? None of that can happen. Energy is really the foundation of the ability of all those things to happen. So that's one reason why I want young people to realize energy is really foundational. And like I said, it's from a career standpoint, you can make you can make really good money working for an energy company. Either, and it can be for us at Columbia Gas, you can work for Virginia Natural Gas, you can work for Dominion. There are lots of, and there's, wherever you go in the US, there's going to be an electric company, a gas company, a water company. I want young people to realize that these options are available for them.
One of the things that you also do is supporting the community. You open your facility up, and the talent you have there is amazing. What's it like when kids or people are coming, they don't know what to expect?
Right.
And then they get there and it's like, wow.
Right. So we have a couple of different programs where we do that. So we have a Introduce a Girl to STEAM Day. And these are 3rd and 4th graders, and they come, this is usually in the first part of the year. And they come and they see our safety town. They get a chance to see a blue box experiment where there's like a little explosion. So they basically see what happens with natural gas if it reaches an ignition source. And it really does open up their eyes, and they start to think, oh, this is kind of interesting. We also have them do exercises where they actually get to sort of map out like a little pipeline, like as if they were building a pipeline the way our engineers do. And we have them do that with tubes and little wires and everything. So they have a fun time doing that. They learn how to do a squeeze off to sort of prevent a leak. So they do those sorts of things. So that's what we do in the Introduce a Girl to STEAM Day. We also are going out in Richmond is having Mission Tomorrow, which is for middle schoolers. And we bring out our bucket trucks, and we, have so we do the same squeeze off. It is a madhouse, but we do that same kind of, the squeeze off experiment, and we line up people to come in and, so they can learn about that. So we do that. Up here in Richmond, we do Mission Tomorrow, and down the Suffolk area, we do Worlds of Work. Same thing, middle schoolers trying to learn that. And then, like I said, for the high schoolers, we do the Youth Ambassador Program.
On the mic, Mike Jennifer is here with us, Columbia Gas of Virginia, talking about all the amazing things that happen at their facility, in their organization, and the impact that they have on the community. What other events do you have coming up, ma'am? So be sure, if you have trouble paying your bills, now's the time. Do not wait. Right. You'll be back again in October, November, saying, folks,
that's right.
The clock is running.
And LIHEAP is starting, and please, that's right. So I definitely will be back, and I'll be telling people about LIHEAP. But people should contact us now. The time is, if you're struggling, please do contact us.
So how do we get a person who wants to be a part of the ambassador program? How do they go about that?
You mean if they have a young person
Yes.
and they want to get enrolled in the Youth Ambassador program? They can, I suppose they can contact you, and I'll put them in touch with Nicole, because we're not taking Youth Ambassador. Again, their program just finished. We start recruiting them, I think, in the May time period, for, to get a job, to get an internship for next summer.
Alrighty, Jennifer Montague is here with us on the mic with Mike. How can people reach you, ma'am?
They can reach us basically at columbiagasva.com, or they can call our 800 number. Can I circle right back to 811 day,
Definitely.
which is tomorrow? I want to really reiterate that I want to make sure that people, if they are digging or doing any projects, that they make sure that where they are, that they have the 811 come out that they mark the lines, that they put the lines down, and that once those lines are marked, that they only hand dig down to 24 inches or 2 feet within the width of that utility line, because we really, really want, so only hand dig. So no, if they're doing a big project, putting in a patio, putting whatever, if there's a line, if they've called 811, the line is marked, they really can't, take a big backhoe and dig, because we want to make sure that people don't end up hitting those lines. So we want to make sure that those lines are marked at least 3 days before that work is supposed to occur. And that they can contact us. 811 is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So they can contact us anytime. So I really want people to realize, I didn't get around to contacting 811. It only takes a few seconds, but we really want to make sure that people do that if they're doing any digging projects that could potentially hit lines.
Last year, your team came out and we talked about 811 date. Very important, like you said. Don't be so quick. Just take a moment. It does not take long.
That's right. That's right. And if you have a contractor doing the work, make sure don't assume that your contractor will have just called them. Ask your contractor. Hey, you're putting in place, whatever people have going on, but you're putting in place something. Please make sure that you are, putting that in place.
On the mic with Mike, Jennifer, she has to go. Her schedule is tight. And her phone is ringing because I know who that is.
I'm sorry, Stephanie.
Exactly. Exactly. On the mic with Mike, Jennifer, thank you for your time. Thank you for being a sponsor of the program and supporting us. Anything, folks, they're doing some amazing things out in the community, Columbia Gas, Virginia. Thanks, folks. Take care.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike King back. Jennifer's back. Some things are so good, we couldn't let it go by. We could not. We'd be, as they say, my preacher sister and cousins, I'd be remiss if we didn't get to this. Ma'am, what did we miss?
So the one thing that we missed, and I want to make sure people know, is if they need to contact 811, they can contact it on va811.com. Again, if they want to learn any information about 811 or they need to contact 811 because they have a big project that they're digging, please contact va811.com, or they can contact columbiagasva.com/811.
So folks, do the responsible thing. Don't take chances. Call or get with 811. Thanks. Now take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You are here, helping us give everyone the chance to live a longer, healthier life, free from breast cancer. You are survivors. You are thrivers and supporters. You are the heartbeat of the #1 breast cancer movement in the country. You are making strides against breast cancer.
Making Strides Walk of Central Virginia at Monroe Park on October 17th at 9 a.m.
The Chesterfield Chamber
Creating partnerships that make a difference.
Henrico Office of Economic Development.
MIKEKINGBIZ, the social enterprise brand on a mission. MIKEKINGBIZ.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike King here, coming to you from the MIKEKINGBIZ Call Federal Credit Union, powered by Icon Realty Group. We're coming to you from high above Henrico. You can follow me on all the social platforms, which are LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, 10 a.m. to 12. That is the show, as well as Saturday, 6 a.m. Eastern Time. That is on ESPN Richmond. That's where you find MIKEKINGBIZ. Alrighty, ladies, so people know I go way back. My good friends with the Ronald McDonald House of Richmond. Well, mine was the Ronald McDonald House of Philly, but that's another story because I'm from Philadelphia, so all the things you hear about us are probably true. Yes, they are probably true, but we're here with the good friends from the Ronald McDonald House. They had an event that was like one of the first things I went to that was really big and over the top. It was the gala. Shout out to Reba Hollingworth. That's where I met her at. Turned into a really good friend. Alrighty, ladies, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, I am Elena Brennan. I'm the Development Director at Ronald McDonald House Richmond. Thank you so much for having us.
Yep, and I'm Megan Butcher. I'm the Director of Special Events for Ronald McDonald House Richmond. Very new to the team, but excited to be a part of something so great.
So you're new to the team, new to nonprofit world?
Sort of. I come from an association world.
Okay.
So similar but not the same. Happy to be serving such an amazing mission.
Alrighty, ladies. Tell us the Ronald McDonald House really story. What do you guys do? We all kind of know You know, you see
That's
the
right.
houses, you see, you know, all the things, but there's so much more that goes on that's involved with the Ronald McDonald House charities. Tell us about it.
That's true. That's true. So I think a lot of people recognize our name, have a sense of us supporting families whose children are receiving medical treatments, but you know, it's not altogether known all the ways that we do serve those families. So we have been in Richmond serving families since 1980 through our capstone program, our Monument Avenue Ronald McDonald House.
Which is beautiful.
It's a beautiful home. However,
you guys are getting ready to move.
That's true. That's true. We that home has 9 bedrooms and has served the community very well, but there is far greater need than we have the ability to serve in that location. So some of the ways that we support families is through lodging. And I think that is something that people think about often when they think about the Ronald McDonald House. But we also do we have an enormous meal program. We have transportation services, laundry services. We create community with our families so that they can support one another when their children are going through difficult medical treatments. It's really a very special place. And in addition to our Monument Avenue house, we also have in-hospital locations. And those are some that are a little bit behind the curtain that maybe some folks haven't heard of or seen before. So we have a second Ronald McDonald House that opened with the new Children's Hospital Tower at VCU.
Beautiful.
It's a gorgeous space, also has 4 sleep rooms there and a family room, and is open to in-hospital patients, out folks with just coming in for doctor's appointments. So we have folks in and out of that location all day long, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., getting food, running laundry, visiting our only outdoor balcony to get some fresh air, taking a nap, getting some rest, getting all the supplies and things that they need to make their hospital stay comfortable. You know, and then we also have a family room and sleep rooms at Bon Secours St. Mary's. We have family room at Johnson Willis Hospital, HCA Johnson Willis, and we have a kiosk with supplies, comfort items, snacks at Bon Secours St. Mary's Hospital.
So the Johnson Willis, I think I was at the ribbon cutting there. That was about a year or so ago.
I think we're coming on 2 years.
Maybe it's been that long.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Time flies.
Time does fly. So a good friend of mine, Stephanie Becker, she runs Better Together. And she says, I asked her one time, how you doing? And she goes, when you don't ask a parent that of a child who's sick. Because if I really told you, you'd run away and your hair would be on fire. When people show up, kids don't show up sick to Ronald McDonald. Whole families come. And that it affects the whole family. So you guys are in the business. And when I went to the house, I mean, it was really cool. So I go before COVID. And then, you know, after we talked about what changed, you guys had to go through some changes, but the mission still goes on. And there's things when I walk in, you see the bottle caps. You know, it's like, wow. I mean, one, that container's huge.
Yes, yes.
You know,
We collect a lot of pop tops.
Yes, and it's something that when you walk in, you start getting, and a friend of mine, as I said, had cooked meals there, and we recorded a TV show. It's a house because when people show up, sometime at a moment's notice, they show up, and we think of it from being from Richmond. People come from far and wide. They don't know the town. They're in hospitals, and we've all been in hospital waiting rooms, and it's like, okay, time can't go any slower. Families show up with kids. See, I've been around the
Yes, you have. You've seen it all.
It's a while. Because what I thought was really cool when you had the board in the kitchen to let people know about activities. Because, you know, you have other kids there, parents are there trying to take care of the ones who are sick. But then all of a sudden you have the rest of the family, you know, who are bored just trying to figure out how to make it. So when we talk to you about whether it's the development side, you guys are always helping people. What is it that the Ronald McDonald House needs?
So we are entirely community run, supported. So we have corporate partners. We've got individuals who support us. We have friends in the community, and our number one support system is our volunteer base. So we have families and volunteer groups that come in and make meals for our families twice a day. We have lunch volunteers who come in the morning and prepare lunch, and those lunches get distributed to all of our sites and families. We have groups that come in the afternoon and make dinners for the families in the house, or serve meals at our Children's Hospital of Richmond location. We have folks who run food drives and snack drives to help stock our pantries, and they'll do that at their places of business. We have folks who run our hospitality carts, which are a very special volunteer opportunity where you can bring a cart, kind of like a stewardess on a plane, to the in hospital and outpatient floors of the Children's Hospital, St. Mary's, Johnston Willis. And we provide coffee and snacks and activities for the kids and their siblings, comfort items like teddy bears and warm blankets and all these things that just sort of bring a moment of joy, and you get to be, Santa Claus for a moment. So that's a wonderful volunteer opportunity.
All right, how can we get information about Ronald McDonald House?
All of this is on our website, ronaldmcdonaldhouserva.org. You can see information about volunteer opportunities, some of the impact that we're making in the community, the impact of our meal program, which is huge, a huge part of the work that we do, and the number of families that we connect with. It's all there on the website.
So shout out to all the people. My dad would always say, change of the world ain't cheap, easy, or free. Money got to change hands somewhere. And when you have the corporate support, the volunteers, and all the people that basically make magic happen. Because when people show up, sometimes they don't have their clothes, all those things. They just said, we got to get to Richmond. And then they get to Richmond like, oh, we don't have anything. What do we do? So congratulations to you guys with all the things that you do. So shout out to the volunteers as well, because that's something, it really helps organizations who they may have the limited staff to do all that stuff that you guys do.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden the volunteers are out there. So shout out to volunteers. So that's the serious side of it. Okay.
Correct.
Now we're getting ready to get to the fun. While we're here, hold on one second. Ladies and gentlemen, as my man Bill Martin would say, Mike King spares no budget. There's no budget for my sound effects, but clearly it's my granddaughter from 5 and below. So I just want to make that clear. All righty, ma'am, we're coming up to your big gala.
Yes, Red Shoe Rendezvous, coming up on September 11th at Main Street Station. Our theme this year is a secret garden. So lots of beautiful blooms and a lot of great silent and live auction items for our guests to interact with throughout the evening. And this is our largest fundraiser of the year, and certainly an event you won't want to miss. It's honestly had a beautiful evolution over the last few years and doubled in size. So we're just so excited to continue that growth and continue welcoming new attendees, new sponsors, and really be able to highlight our ambassador family this year, which is a huge part of the event as well, getting them the opportunity to tell their story in front of so many, so many people who care about our mission. So
this is a business show. Yes, we are. Sponsors. I'd like to thank my sponsors as we're on that topic. Give a shout out to Call Federal Credit Union and Icon Realty Group. Ma'am, you guys got sponsors. Can people still sponsor?
Absolutely.
The lady said absolutely. Yes, we are not turning down any sponsors. Okay, give us the information on what they need to do. Who do they need to contact to help fund this dream?
Yes, absolutely. So our sponsors are a huge part of this event. There's a lot of different ways to get involved and invest into the event. But you can view all of the sponsorship packets on our website, ronaldmcdonaldhouserva.org/gala. That's also where you can purchase your individual or couples tickets. So please check that out. And we would love to see you there with your whole table, people.
Okay, that's right. Get you a table, folks. You got peoples.
Yeah.
Get with your people. All right, so the date of that, once again, September
11th, Main Street Station.
At Main Street Station. And what I'd known you guys from before was after that, you guys would have your golf tournament. And I didn't say I thought that was kind of crazy, but it did seem a little bit funny that, okay, well, maybe the people go to the gala and maybe they don't party so hard that they can't do something the next day. But now you guys have moved it.
Yep.
Okay, let's get the particulars on the move.
Yes, so about a month after, when you've recovered from all the gala fun, you can come join us for our golf tournament. That is October 6th. 19th. Oh, I always do that. October 19th.
It's a Monday.
Monday, yes. We'll have, again, just some fantastic silent auction items, a great turnout always. So yeah, we hope you'll join us for golf after you've had fun with us at Gala.
That's right. So get out there and so you guys need teams, I would guess.
We do.
We need sponsors for that as well.
Yeah, exactly. So if Gala is not your jam, or if you want to party with both of us,
you can come on out.
That's right. Come on out.
When I ask people, I asked you whether you're in the nonprofit world. I ask people all the time. There's certain people go into that world, and it's not for everyone. Talk about, so when people show up to the Ronald McDonald house, sometimes they come in not a very good way. Then all of a sudden, what's it like when the light comes on and they say, all right, I got here and now I'm sort of taken care of? Because that's what you guys do. What's that like when you look around and they get it?
It's really special. It's so special to be a part of, to feel that you are wrapping your arms around a family that's in their greatest moment of need. Families will say things like, I came in, I had a hot meal for the first time, after eating out of the vending machine, and say, I feel like a person again. You devote all your time and energy to caring for your child, making sure they can access the best health care possible, and there's not anything left for you. So having us here to take care of the caregiver frees them to devote their time and energy to making sure that their child is having the best medical treatments, that they understand what's happening, that they can be present and give all of their attention to their child. That's where we step in, make sure that they have their needs, their basic needs and more met. And that they've developed a community of people that they can go to when they need support.
So you're on the development side, and a lot of times that's so important because you take the real financial burden off the families.
That's right.
Because if we're staying in hotels, we ain't doing this. And on top of that, there's so many things that you miss. Camaraderie, the food, all those things. There's somebody guiding you saying, this is Richmond. Okay, this is where you go to for all those things, but that needs to help with donations and sponsors and the people to offer help in that way. So one last time, let us know how people could help you and what you guys need. You always need to tell people.
Yes. So once again, if you are the type of person who likes to party, come to one of our events. If you're the kind of person who wants to bring their family out and develop a culture of philanthropy with your children, come make a meal at the house, your whole family. We have volunteers who are young children, as long as they're with an adult, to really experience what it is like to give back in that way. It's a very special experience. If you have, if you're part of a company who likes to do community events, we will come to you and you can make activity kits or snack bags to help stock our pantry. We have so many ways to partner with us. If you want to see all the options, again, our website is ronaldmcdonaldhouserva.org, and we list all the ways that you can support.
Because it really is a house. It's like there's a laundry room. There is in the military we call it day room, like a den where families come to it. So when you walk in, there's somebody to greet you too, because you never know how people are going to be. They're unknown. They're coming at different times, and then they get there to you. So it's all the things. It truly is a house. Okay, but now we got to get to you guys are moving to new dates, and you guys are in a capital campaign. That's what they call it in your world, right?
That's correct.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
That is right.
But the idea of it is you guys have outgrown that house.
We have. We have folks that we have to put up in hotels, and that is not nearly the experience.
I can imagine. Plus, that ain't cheap.
That's true. That is true. So we're in a capital campaign to raise funds to break ground on a new, larger Ronald McDonald house, and it'll be in Jackson Ward on Lee Street, right off of Bldg.
Right on the corner.
Right on the corner. It's really the entrance to downtown Richmond. It'll be conveniently located off of 95, so that all of our families accessing their medical teams can get there very easily. We'll be a mile away from the Children's Hospital of Richmond, which is our largest referral partner at the moment. And it will have the amenities that will allow us to serve more families. So there'll be suites that will be appropriate for immunocompromised families. We'll have 2 large kitchens, one for our families and one for volunteers to be coming in, so they all have their separate spaces. We'll have, a fitness area for families because you need to stress relieve at all hours, and that will give them access to, a treadmill and some gym equipment to relieve stress. As always, we'll have a huge pantry. Families can access any time of the day, whenever their medical appointments are available, transportation to appointments, all the things we have now, just bigger, better, and more appropriate for all the variety of needs that families might have.
I forgot about the transportation piece. What am I doing? Why am I even here? Because, sometimes people show up. Maybe they don't have the transportation, don't know the way around. Okay, ladies, one last time. The date of the gala is?
September 11th, Main Street Station.
Get your tickets.
Yes.
Don't wait for the tickets. And sponsors, don't wait. You want to put and I know because the amount of people there, and the influential people as well. So as a sponsor, we're talking about people who can have an impact. Some folks who we want to say they got some discretionary dollars to be able to do the thing. So you want to put your name and your brand in front of them. So September 11th and October 19th. There you go.
That's right. Those are the dates.
Yep.
That's the dates. Get to the Ronald McDonald house. Go ride by and wave. Go to the site and make sure you're doing it because they're moving to Jackson Ward. How long does your campaign run? The capital campaign.
Well, we are hoping that we will be able to break ground on phase 1 of our campaign in late spring of next year.
Oh, really? You guys rolling like that?
It's rolling fast. That's right. So, hopefully sometime in 2028, probably later in the year, we will we'll be able to open our doors. And have 32 rooms available, up from our 15.
And you guys make the 15 work. Yeah. You guys make it work.
We do make it work.
And one part is when you're looking at funding, you have the house and the cost to do it there. When you start putting people in hotels,
yes,
you're driving. So thank you to the sponsors and supporters who do all the things that you do to make the Ronald McDonald House experience work for them. On the mic, anything else, ladies? I know you got your talking points. Did we cover everything?
You did a great job.
Yes, thank you.
We're just so grateful to be here and to share all the work that we're doing.
All righty, folks. We'll be back. This is the Nonprofit Experience Initiative. What we're doing is we're highlighting nonprofits. We're doing some amazing work in the community.
Hi, my name is Jillian, but everybody calls me Jill. I'm a cheerleader, a student, and the voice.
And I'm the champ, Desiree, aka Lifestyle Desi. I'm a national champion boxer.
And this is Mind Over Match,
where we talk with student athletes, coaches, experts all over Central Virginia
about everything that comes with sports, the highs, the injuries, the pressure, and how to balance it all.
Catch Mind Over Match
on the MIKEKINGBIZ Media Network, including ESPN Richmond Radio.
Figure out what you're good at and then figure out how to teach that. And one of the things that I would encourage to do in that aspect is record yourself doing whatever you do, document it, and then attempt to pass that on to somebody. And if they have a whole bunch of questions, that means that you need to redo what it is that you've given in terms of instructions.
The culture piece is huge, making sure you know whether you're going to hire on skills alone or culture fit as you grow the organization, and then figuring out what kind of leader you're going to be. So are you going to lead by example? Are you going to lead by, writing everything down? Are you going to lead by training? Like really figure out what your leadership style is, and then you got to figure out how to translate that. So I think you already touched on it a lot, but really understanding like who you are, how you lead, slow down, figure that out, and then figure out how to put that into a different format so that different minds can understand it.
At that age was that you're a thinker. I was like, what are my things? I don't know what that really means. The older that I got, and the more I got, especially once I started a business and got more into my profession, started to realize that, that is actually my strength, is my ability to look at what are very heavy challenges, ones that not only need a level of problem solving, but solutions that will possibly be impactful for years to come. It's different when you can make maybe a decision that might just have an impact for a week or two, but a client to the decisions that we're making really impacts their legacy. So that level of heaviness that comes along with it, with having someone who is not only thinking for potentially that person, but the people who it will impact. So being a thinker is what I realized was my thing, and I think that having a family who very much poured into that and put me in spaces to be able to tap into those skills.
I think a great partnership with somebody that believes in what I believe in, has the same values, the same morals, the same everything, because whoever you partner with is an extension of you, right? So you have to remember that. So I think what doesn't work is someone, one-sided collaboration. That doesn't work, because then, it's just not a good idea.
Again, it goes back to consistency, and we've been using that word a lot. Authenticity, and also trust. And yes, Kenyatta Ray writes down everything she's done, Philip, and she has that information from you. And I'm trying to answer the questions because I'm not only visible on social media, but I work for a publicly traded radio station, and I have to be on radio, so we have close to 75,000 people listening at one time, and then you streaming over 1 million people, if you will. So I'm trying to put that in the box, and I'm streaming not only locally, but globally. And then understanding to be on social media as well, to make sure that when my listeners or viewers or followers are asking questions about certain things, I have to make sure that I have the answers, and then I'm online to give them the answers. That's one thing. But I'm also in the nonprofit space. So with the nonprofit space, my nonprofit is broken up into 2 phases. So we have the entry. The entry is, if you've ever seen it, I do send a kid to camp. So we send kids to camp all summer. Then we make sure we provide scholarships for kids that are going off to college, and Christmas. And just for me, when it comes to social media, it's something that I want to assist with. And so
I know everyone's talking about AI, but if you can learn how to set really good parameters with AI and understand how to leverage the tools of AI, you will be able to move so much faster regardless of the type of business that you're running.
It helps with mentoring, and I think it helps with building each other up to a certain extent. So going back to, my background is women in business, right? And we've just gotten to the table. We've only been invited to the table in the last generation. So there is so much we don't know. There is so much historical information and knowledge that we have just never been privy to. We were never able to be in the room, let alone at the table. So it is through our network, it is through the connections that we make that we build each other up, and that we support each other and we mentor each other, because nobody else is going to do it for us.
I think when working with clients, a lot of times they have this great energy, they have these great ideas, but when it comes to that one question, well, tell me about yourself, or why do you do what you do, they kind of freeze up. And I think that's probably one of the most difficult questions in an interview as well, is tell me about yourself. And so I think really being clear on being able to define your why and being able to tell your story. I think that is first and foremost. So before you get on any platform, before you launch any type of campaign, understand why you're doing it and understand exactly how to tell your story with value.
First off, in my head, my notes, it was planned out a year prior. Summer before, launched it in January. Fashion Week took place, a teaser, in March. And then after March, the people were like, are you gonna do Fall Fashion Week? So it's already demand there. So began in June, planning for October, which was a great success last week. So the mistakes I've learned is probably it's gonna be, a lot of times, it's gonna just be with hiring the right people. Often, I know me, I have a heart of giving opportunity, you know. So I'm like, oh, they got potential, let's work with them.
So I'll tell you, talk to more customers sooner. Before your website looks pretty, before the baby is walking, before anything. Make sure you're solving a problem that somebody will pay you for, and they'll pay you something that makes it worth your while.
Think, get to know who you have around you, right? So we're hungry to help you guys. Every single day, we're looking to different ways to make your life easier. You need a line of credit, you need a loan, you need an auto loan, whatever the collateral, whatever you're using for, come to see us. Don't wait for us to always, maybe send you commercial information or, on your phone, hey, there's a lot of big banks out there. And there's a lot of community banks like ourselves that are called Federal Credit Union, right? And there's another credit unions out there. So get to know your banker. Get to ask the questions. What do I need to be successful?
So much.
So tell me, what do you do? Tell me your name first.
My name is Chelsie Chun, and I'm the marketing manager.
You are the So I don't want to say that we are sure you're the person. We're salesy type people.
Right?
Yeah. And
that's one way to put it.
That's one way of putting it. And there are times that we can sort of get carried away with the sales process. Right. And then we have the operations person.
Okay.
Who's kind of saying, okay, so you tell somebody you're at the Hof, and what are the things you want them to know about the place, the organization, as well as why they need to have something there?
Okay, well, it's less about, the Hofheimer building has incredible history, as Natalie mentioned earlier, but it's a 3-floor monstrosity of a building, amazing, but you see, people know it for the rooftop, but it's so much more than that, and it's the experiences that people can build in it. We want to be known as the place for celebration in Richmond, right? And at times where things are tough, especially in this market, it's really important for us to remember how important celebrating the little things are, right? Birthdays, getting a new job even, which is me last week, in fact. So
you got this job last week?
No comment.
Boy. Well, okay. Here, I can say this. You've been around the sales. You have that kind of gift of being good with the whole marketing sales side.
I know to look at something good and make it so that people are reminded why haven't I been there yet? Or I should go back there sometime. And our boss has that vision, and I'm just simply there to make it happen.
There you go. It's always a person. So when you say people look at the rooftop, it is something about riding by and seeing the front of that building. It just looks like wow. It's a wow factor. And it is a place. It is something to know. Having joined a new organization for you, there's times that you're in the right place at the right time. Richmond right now is on fire. It really is. And for people maybe who are from here, they may not get it. But, you know, the one thing is you can look and see, I always joke to people and say, if it wasn't for that jailbreak of Northerners coming here, Richmond folks may still be drinking $3 PBRs. Now, they're $25 watered down drinks on rooftops because the sun is baking on us. But it is a race to the top. It is a race to be excellent. And that's what you guys offer, the experience, like you said. People are celebrating big things, little things. Go to the All right, so give us the elevator pitch for the Hofheimer.
Elevator pitch.
There you go.
Did I not tell you it was my first week here, Mike?
Did I tell you I know you're good?
You know what?
That's right.
Let me tell you. Okay, as I said, we are known for our rooftop, but y'all are sleeping on our restaurant. Try the shrimp and grits.
Oh, really?
Thank me later. I've never had it in that format ever in my life. They're in little grit cakes. I swear, it was, again, my first week. Didn't say a single word. I took my content, I went back upstairs and had a drink. Every single floor has something for you. Like Chelsie said, everybody is welcome here. No matter how old you are, how young you are, where you come from. Listen, what you just mentioned, I went to New York University and I was living in New York and I had to move back home and I was devastated about that. But here's the thing about Richmond, we're up and coming and we're continuing to grow. And the Hop is a place to be at. When I tell you, I've seen all the nightlife, all the fun things in New York, and seeing this, like, it has the potential to be something even greater than it already is. And look, I encourage you all to check it out. Ask for me, Chelsie, the marketing manager. And Mike, bring your wife out. We'll show you. Try the shrimp and grits. We have great menu items. Y'all are sleeping on it. And go read a book in the library. Touch some grass, but also read a book.
Ladies and gentlemen, you ever consider being a preacher? Because what I'm looking at is, we may be ready to take an offering after that, but that is something there. That is an elevator sales pitch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so make sure you go ahead and check her out. Go, talk to her.
You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. You hear me? I'm like, because it will be memorable. You will go all out. So on the mic with Mike, go check out the Hall. Oh, yeah, I will be at Harry's. I got to pull out the memorable things if I come to Harry's. I look at them people in line. I got to come correct. But it might be something from the 80s. I got to go, folks. Thanks. Now, take care. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the mic with Mike. Mary with Call Federal is in the building. So we're down here at Scott's Edition. This is the Bosses event. We're at Novel Scott's Edition. Mary is with us. Mary, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike.
All righty, so tell us who you are and what you do.
So Call Federal Credit Union is a great corporation to work for the community. So we do a lot with you. So Mike King has been always out there helping the community, helping the minority, and we here. So Call Federal Credit Union want to help you with a small business. If you have a small business and you need a loan, you need a business account, please let us know. Sponsorship is out there as well. We follow everywhere Mike King goes. He's the leader. So, but Call Federal Credit Union is really out here to help you guys with the community. We're here to help with anything that you can. On
the mic, Mary is here with us. For folks we don't know, I guess we just the juice is going down.
Yeah.
So Mary, so for folks who know, it is the MIKEKINGBIZ Call Federal Credit Union Media Center. Mary, how can people get information out there about
Absolutely. So my email, just send me in, an inbox is mcondon, CONDON at callfederal.org.
There you go. Call Federal. Mary Condon.
Yes.
CONDON. That's her at Call Federal Credit Union. Thanks now. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thanks, Mike.